Today we're going to take a look at the routing functionality of SOLIDWORKS. You can see here that we're able to access flanges straight from our design library and place them on the ports that are open. You'll notice also that those flanges resize automatically, and they create a new route that can start our piping immediately. We can also place mates on this as well to give us more control as well as dimensions. So you can see we went from a 4-inch pipe to a 3-inch pipe, and we're actually splitting this pipe to give us another connection there into the middle of that pipe. Now, another nice thing that SOLIDWORKS will do is it will actually split that pipe for us into 2 sections, and then we can place those dimensions on there to give us more control over the location. Also, utilizing a design library, we can place in a T there and select the size T that is necessary to go into that part as well. We just put in another split and adding in a ball valve. And of course, using the tab key, you can rotate that ball valve around to place it in the position that you'd like for it to be. You can see that we can open this assembly up in a window by itself. All of the joints have been added, all the cuts have been added, along with all of the elbows. You can see that we can quickly put it onto a drawing sheet, 2D drawing, and create a bill of materials for that particular assembly. All the particular materials there are captured along with the lengths of each pipe segment. And then of course we can auto balloon this and put the balloons on there at one time as well. And along with that, we can show our center lines and go in and do some dimensions here on our 2D drawing to show exactly the placement of those bins and of those pieces. So it's very easy to go in and create that. Now, if we take a look inside, we'll switch gears and start looking at tubing a little bit. And you can see that in the same program interface that you have the ability to pull in different fittings for the copper tubing industry. We can bring those tube fittings in, and we can add pieces to the route. And then of course just connect those 2 pieces with an auto route, and just as we did a minute ago with the piping, the tubing also does basically the same thing. It creates a route inside of this assembly to help us to understand what we have. You can see here that it also gives us a list of the bins for that particular tubing. Now you also notice that this pump is actually kind of hanging in space, and by utilizing the isolate command, we can hide both of these, all these components except for that. We can create a couple of sketches here, and by utilizing weldments in this, we can place weldment profiles in there, which are just steel plates. We can place those in place and make those as part of the weldment for this base that we're building. Then of course we use the tubing here. We can pick the size of the tube that we need, and we can select a sketch, and you'll notice here that that sketch is actually in the middle. We can relocate that to be at the top, and then place the other portions as well. You see here that we have the ability to change the corners. They can be a butt corner or it can be a miter corner. In this case, we're going to leave it at miter. And then of course, we're going to go in and do a mirror functionality in SOLIDWORKS to mirror over that particular leg over to the other side. And we're going to create this part. Now, this particular pump is a smart feature, which means that the assembly or the part actually comes with extrudes or features that are already built into it. So you can see here that we're cutting those holes. It's automatically cut, tapped, and threaded, and also the bolts are placed in there. And then of course we can take this straight to a drawing sheet, create a cut list for all the components that are in here, balloon this as well, and call out all the holes that will be a part of this, along with all the necessary dimensions that we're going to find here as well. So you can see here that with piping we get a lot of new functionality. We can go back in now and everything is returned to normal. We have our tubing, and we have our pipe routing, and now we have our weldments in place. And we have the ability to take those and modify them and make changes to them as well to increase or decrease the height. And you notice that everything changes. All the pipe routings